Welcome back to episode 15, I think we're on session 15. Welcome. Um, so let's have a small recap. Let's reacquaint ourselves because a lot has happened and a lot is about to happen. You had all spent a couple of hours in this refugee camp, each of you going to different sections to meet with people, discover new things. Grim had gone off with Impa to learn more about her ring and what its necrotic abilities are, which you now have in your inventory. Estrella, I was going to go Emily. Estrella, Emily's character, Estrella, went to talk with the goblins, with Thok and the others, and aid in their medical treatment of Captain Persian Cassire, with an expert hand and just a flick of the wrist. She was able to reunite his soul with his body. He is forever grateful. In that moment, though, she had tried also to discern if they had any of the flowers or that she needed to complete the potion for her cure, or right, not really a cure, but for her treatments for this necrotic phage that has been plaguing her body. And she found one piece that Thok and his people had, which was the marigold. They had marigold dust that you could use in the potion. But as Estrella went and searched to see if perhaps she could find the bluebell bonnet flower, she had learned from a little girl and her mother was a botanist, that flower doesn't exist in Hyrule. She'd never heard of it before. And so, of course, Estrella knows that that flower is not in this present realm. Yasin had talked with Captain Cassire, and really just kind of bonded with him, mainly over the this broken ship and a good bottle of brandy. The two of them ignited their bromance, which ended with Persian Cassire literally pledging himself through blood to Yasin, saying that not only would he help him find a new ship, but would help him find a fleet. And so now, for as long as he lives, Persian Cassire is blood bound to Yasin to repay this life debt that really he owes to all of you, but out of respect to Yasin mostly. Kieran, being just boy, I swear, here we go.
Thank you.
Sorry, you have your jokes now, people. You have your jokes now. You're gonna need that later. Kieran had gone on a sort of personal soul journey, really being led by this wolf spirit that had once occupied the same physical space as him, leaving him now with the ability to spirit walk, to see into the past and experience Hyrule as it was in its glory days, to see King Rom as a young man, a prince, and to see a very young Link. But as he looked and journeyed and talked with Impa and got to the realization that these tattoos mean something, that we are a part of something important here, he brought in Estrella and eventually Grim into his spirit walking, and they all saw some weird stuff. Kind of went on a small trip, but Kieran had convinced them that we need to talk with the high priest, which Impa had mentioned that Zelda has always acted as high priest for her people, as a part of her lineage. But as the party was that's right, forget Nim's journey. She talked with Seth.
Nim.
No, it's good. She talked with Seth, kind of got an idea about how the worlds seem to be collapsing, that something happened in Faerun that caused them and the other refugees to just slam into Hyrule. Um, Nobody knows what Faerun looks like right now, but Seth did have a piece of tile that had the Triforce engraved upon it, and some writing that, of course, didn't finish with that tile piece. It links to something much larger. Seth was hard pressed to trade for this item, and unbeknownst to Nim, like without thought, without any conscious effort, her hand shoots up, waves in front of Seth's face, and a green glow occupies his eyes. And he very willingly, from that point on, gave her the tile, bid her a nice day, and escorted her out of his home slash trader's caravan, none the wiser as to what happened. Nim is completely confused, having no conscious knowledge of what that was. Only that her body acted of its own accord for a brief moment. Now the five of you had found yourself traveling up the road towards the drawbridge that leads to Hyrule's main entrance. But before you could all step upon the bridge, the doors opened dramatically, and a town crier, a noble, came out and spoke at the top of his lungs about how the king had died, but that Zelda had been crowned queen and was now the ruler of Hyrule. And with Zelda and her crown and armor as she comes out is Link, who is her royal bodyguard, captain of the armies, dressed in his full regalia. Again, his shield that he carries bears the crest of Hyrule, which is the Triforce symbol. But to any discerning eye, this is not the Master Shield, nor does he wield the Master Sword, if any are curious. But he is not wielding the same armor that he had when he fought with you in the tunnels. He seems healed of his wounds, though if you look carefully, you could see some bandages underneath his chainmail. He has been bandaged up, but maybe not had enough time to fully deal with the injuries. Along with Link are the other royal bodyguards that accompany Zelda wherever she goes now that she is the sovereign ruler of Hyrule. About half a dozen of them, 3 to either side, with Link taking a position directly in front of her. Impa is at Link's side, and she looks tentatively at the 5 of you, almost longingly, in the sense of, you can see in her eyes, where were you? I needed you. But the look quickly fades as you watch her gaze move upwards. The sky changes. Instead of this mid-afternoon sun, it's about 2 o'clock now with the time that you have all spent. Instead of this mid-afternoon sun and this bright blue sky that you had just seen, it is now turning black. And amidst the darkness, a third crack shoots up from the other 2, now making this trident in the sky. One line that splits into 3. And the colors that you all associate with the Tavern of Realms, this world between worlds, this nebula of energy and light and color, fills the blackness until Hyrule looks like it's shrouded in an aurora borealis deep in the night. Immediately, you hear a horn blast in the distance, and the guards rush forward in front of Zelda and form a phalanx with Link at the front. Perhaps they've seen this before. Impa rushes up to the five of you, and you can see this sense of panic in her eye. And she looks at you and she goes, "Oh, it's happening again. I don't know why it is happening, but now a third crack has appeared in the sky. And with that can only mean doom for us in Hyrule. What did the five of you do?"
Sorry, I was on mute.
Go ahead, dear.
I feel like I'm supposed to do something. Okay, so where can I look around the area and see what's happening? I
Yeah.
know like a horn blew, but like what am I looking at?
What you see is on one side, all of the guards that had come out with Zelda are formed into a singular line, shields interlocked and raised towards the sky, swords bared, a full phalanx like Roman soldiers would do, or Spartans.
Yeah.
Around you is crackling energy. You've never heard this before in the Tavern of Realms. It was always silent. It was always beautiful to behold. But as you look up, Grim, it's almost as if lightning is streaking through the nebula. Colors of red, blue, and purple just and flash around. And from it, you can feel the rumble of thunder. Something's coming. And you can tell, not just in the nature of the world, but in the magical forces that you are so closely attuned to. Estrella, your skin starts to prickle as your hair stands on end, almost like an electric current is flowing through you and Grim. And the two of you are very aware that something unnatural is happening.
Are there people running around like outside of this like grouping of the guards? Is it like, I think Kieran's gonna tell anybody who's like running in the like streets of this area to just like get to their tents, get to their homes, get somewhere safe.
Roll persuasion.
Well, it's a good thing my persuasion is not super high. Ooh, okay. 18.
Wow, you beat it by one. I rolled a 17.
Oh.
Nicely done.
And my persuasion is -1, so
Hey, there you go.
I'm
These people hear you. And what you notice that almost every refugee is just staring into the sky, and they're almost hypnotized by the beauty and just the raw nature that's happening around them. Most of them don't understand what's going on, but they hear you call out to go somewhere safe, to go back into their tents. And a few of them start to listen to you, and they gather up their children and they go, "No, come on, we got to go inside." You know, you hear a few of them whispering, "Oh, I hope it's not happening again. Not again. We can't take this again." And you see some people start to fortify themselves, but many, many more, I would say 80% of these people are just transfixed. And despite your calls and efforts, they start to gather into the center of this field and just stare up at the sky like, wow.
I want to ready my axe and a dagger.
Yeah, you can do
So
that.
that's all I got in my head right now, I guess.
Nim's going to try to actually run up the bridge towards the castle and try to tell everybody to get back inside.
As you do so, Link immediately like moves to stand in front of you, not menacingly or in a harmful fashion. He knows you, but he just kind of has this look on his face like, what do you say?
Get everyone back inside right now. I don't know what's going on up there, but it can't be good. And it's better to be in a big structure.
From the back of the phalanx, you hear, and Zelda, you realize at this point is much taller than you originally thought. Standing, she is just above these crouched soldiers. A very imposing, powerful presence in her armor that she wears. This bright gold shoulder pieces that point at the top and lead into this flowing cape, very gossamer. She is both beautiful and powerful. And you hear her voice when she goes, "While I appreciate the sentiment, I will not abandon my people to what is coming. But I welcome your help to protect them."
Jess, it's a no-win situation. It's rigged. Just go with it.
I was trying. Leave me alone.
I know you both were trying. I was like, he's not gonna let the people go. Just let it go.
As Zelda makes this proclamation, everybody can hear it, and she's very loud, projecting across the field. It is in this moment that the thunder and lightning fades from being random and starts to be precise as lightning streaks down from the heavens and crashes right next to this group of refugees. You hear screams as people scatter and run. And with these lightning flashes that now come in succession, lighting tents on fire, one strikes into Seth's home, and you see it just, and just a piece of the topmost battlement that he has just kind of crumbles, and you see a small fire starting. You see the third rip open wider. And as it does, fire rains down from the sky. At least this is as best as you can figure it. It doesn't look like fire. It looks like energy. It's just beams of it, but as it hits the ground, it sparks, flames everywhere it touches. And the people start to panic and scream. And you all watch as mothers and fathers and children begin to get cut down by this endless rain of energy falling from the sky.
Nim's going to try to rush back out there. And how big are these energy blasts? Big enough to deflect?
Yeah, it's like an arrow, if you think about it, the way it's
okay. Could I try to use deflect missiles and just try to like pop it away from people and try to get everybody to go towards the castle instead?
Yes, you can do that. What I would like you to do is roll a dexterity save for me.
Okay.
Estrella, while she's rolling, do you want to try to cast the shield we used on the ship?
Damn, yeah, let's do that. I was just looking for something to do. All right.
I mean, since we already could do it before, I figured if we do it together again, it might work.
So I will say
Might work.
that something very
He says
interesting
no.
happens
Uh-oh.
as all of you
I don't
start
like
to ready yourselves to defend these people. You realize that it has been well over a day since any of you have eaten.
Fuck.
And it has been quite a while since the last time you rested. You're still licking your wounds from the last fight against the gnolls that you fought at the lava weaver down below, or the Night Mother's ritual.
Y'all
As
just want to touch
such-
the horn and leave.
Oh, that's terrible.
As such, you all have 1 point of exhaustion.
Get on here. Throw conditions.
It's a condition. You need to set your it's under where conditions are.
One
It's
point,
of exhaustion. 1 point of exhaustion. Jess, since you have it up, could you read what 1 point of exhaustion does for everybody, please?
One.
You're too happy about
Some special abilities and environmental hazards such as starvation and the long-term effect of freezing or scorching temperatures can lead to a special condition called exhaustion. If an already exhausted creature suffers another effect that causes exhaustion, its current level of exhaustion increases by the amount specified in the effective description.
Yep.
Okay, so the first level of exhaustion affects, it gives disadvantage on ability checks.
Okay, so that's
So
What is
So
that?
So all of
Chris.
your ability, perception, if I make you do a strength check, a dexterity check,
So what I just did.
It's gonna be tough.
all of your
Um,
checks that you might do will be done with disadvantage. You roll twice, you take the lowest number because you're all exhausted. I'm
I
sorry.
sent you a message, Chris, about something.
Okay, let me check.
How do you change it? Do you put it
do
on
you-
your profile?
Do you see armor class? Right next to it says defenses and conditions.
Ah, condition.
Press it conditions, and down at the bottom you will see exhaustion 1 through 6.
Why are they crawling?
Just press 1.
The man is on his hands and knees going like,
Interesting thing that's happening to each of you under exhaustion. Some of you are carrying with you some baggage, and that baggage under the strains of exhaustion is going to get a little bit heavier. Kieran, you feel your stone arm start to seize a little bit.
Oh,
It's locking in, becoming more like stone. Again, he is losing his grip on his physical form. That's why his body has these spirit outings, these astral projections. As he gets exhausted, it gets harder for him to maintain a hold on his corporeal form. Estrella, you feel the pain of your necrosis moving up to your shoulder. It's not that the necrosis has crawled that far, but you feel that pain. And as you move and stretch and ready yourself, it hurts. Nim, the black markings that have moved up your hand start to burn. And despite all of your monk training and your poise, you can't help but be distracted by the pain, and it is annoying you. Grim.
Yeah.
Alexander feels further away than he has since you reunited with him. It has been less than 24 hours since the two of you have made a new pact. To put it in D&D terms, the two of you are not fully attuned. And your exhaustion, your stress, and this fire raining down from the sky has caused you to shield up all of your emotional and psychic barriers that you naturally do. All of you are feeling the effects of not having taken care of your bodies.
I do that on the daily.
Just like in real life.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, dang, like
So Estrella and Grim, as the two of you ready to do your fusion dance to make this shield appear, it doesn't work. The reserves that you pull from, you cannot bring this shield to bear. Nim, rolling with disadvantage, what is your dexterity?
12.
12.
The other one was a 17.
As you, oh, I'm so sorry. 17 was a nice number. As you rush out, and all of you just watch as Nim rushes out into the fray, immediately taking her staff and spinning it around. But she's just a little slower than you've seen her before. She manages to deflect 1, 2, 3 of these bolts as they come down, but the 4th one just slips past her, and she watches it as it comes down, and there is a mother down below her, cradling her child. Estrella knows this mother,
Don't you hurt my baby.
and you watch as this bolt pierces through her back. She doesn't even have a chance to scream, and she falls over. And at her knees is the little girl who is alive but crying. And you just hear her going, Mom,
Reed.
Mom,
Reed.
Mom.
Oh my god. Perfect shield. Perfect freaking shield. Can I do that?
Make a wisdom saving roll.
Okay.
Just
With
kind of
the-
hyperventilating over there. Please breathe.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Cool. 13. That was with
This time. And you feel the presence pull back. As you raise your gem into the sky, all of you see this green energy barrier appear. You have cast Perfect Shield using your stone. You are now up to 13 for the next time you use it as a wisdom saving throw, just so you know. With Perfect Shield, you have the ability to deflect 50 points of damage against this barrier. At that time, you either need to recast it or figure out what the hell you're going to do. A salvo comes from the sky and instantly does 10 points of damage as 10 individual bolts just blast against the shield, bringing it down to 40 HP. But everyone underneath it is safe, and you watch as others realize what you are doing as you just stand rooted in place and hold this above your head, and people start to rush inside this barrier and they crowd around you, and all you hear them saying is, help us, please help us.
She's going to try to yell above everybody. Get inside the castle. Everybody help them inside the castle.
While Nim is doing that, can I cast Spare the Dying on the mom?
I want you to give me an athletics check
Oh,
to
With
get
disadvantage.
to her with disadvantage.
and
As you rush forward, you manage to dodge a couple of bolts as they come towards you, but it slows you down. And as you reach inside the barrier and come to Nim's side, you reach out your hand towards the mother and feel that she has no presence left in her. Her spirit has faded, and there is no more that you can do for her. But the little girl looks up at you and immediately grabs your hands, and you hear her go, what happened to my mommy? What happened? And she just sobs and grips your fingers so tightly, it kind of hurts a little bit. Nim, at your call, you see that the phalanx soldiers move out from their lined position and create almost an umbrella up there with their shields for people to run through them. Are you going to move back towards, because you are not near it right now. You move back a little bit.
Yes, I will try to move to meet them, but
As you move back, another 4 bolts strike against this barrier, bringing it down to 36 points of health. I want you to make an athletics check with disadvantage, please, to see how fast you can move back while keeping these people inside the barrier. You have about 30 people in there.
athletics, 12. They're both 7.
You move with your typical grace and speed, but you're distracted and you are not moving with the group. And as you get closer to the bridge, 3 people fall outside of the barrier. And as they do, 17 bolts pierce the sky.
Huh.
Your shield blocks that damage, but the three who are outside of it immediately are cut down in front of you as you make it to the bridge. The soldiers are there, and you hear Zelda call out, "Make your way inside the castle! Hurry, we will do our best to shield you as we can!" And Zelda rushes forward through the phalanx to be inside the shield and comes by your side. And you hear her go, "I do not know how you are doing this, but thank you. Is there anything I can do to help you keep this up?"
It won't last much longer. I can't take much more damage.
"Then we must get them in quickly. Please, everyone, move single file. The soldiers will guard you as best they can. Please, please move in." And you watch as 27 people, because 3 were cut down, 27 start to make a single file line, and they move as quickly as they can, but it is not going to be fast. Minutes will transpire before they are inside the castle. You watch as another salvo falls from the sky, 4 more points of damage against your shield, but you see it now this close to the castle. These bolts raise against the stone, knocking pieces off here and there. Fires start in distant parts of the castle. It won't last long either.
I'm like 5 points away.
I will say that at this point, Yasin is on the outside of the barrier, trying to see if any other people are there to save. Some ran into their tents, and he rushes into there, calling out to them, "Come on, you've got to come, let's go." And you watch him with his scimitars just figurating in the sky as these bolts fall, and he is a man unleashed. He is blocking almost everything that comes. The last person he gets to is Captain Persian and the goblins. And they all rush out with him. And you hear Captain Persian just, "Come on, let's go!" And he just rushes forward, his own swords blazing above his head. But as 15 bolts fall on their position, not against your shield, but on their position, there is too much for Yasin to block. And you watch him take a hit in the calf, through a shoulder, but he keeps moving forward. His arms never stop moving, and everyone makes it to the shield barrier as one more bolt pierces the other leg for Yasin. And you watch him just kind of look at you, Nim, and smile, and then collapse to the ground. He's not dead. He's not making death-saving throws, but he is unconscious, and he is a body that y'all need to worry about.
Awesome.
Kieran is probably going to be, I guess, positioned close enough to where Yasin was because we were kind of passing by. Kieran's going to use the same ancient magic from basalt that he used to forge his arm, and he's going to create a dome from his arm, but it sacrifices and costs a little bit of his flesh as well in order to put a dome around Yasin.
And you do that. That will take, is there a specific number? Or are we going to go with the 10 HP rule from your previous ability?
Yeah.
All right. So 10 HP. As you do so, bits of your energy, your spirit, the rock that makes up who you are in these areas that you've prepared yourself start to move around Yasin and form not just a dome, but almost encasing him in armor. Think about how like Toph could bring up rock armor around her and just be encased in this little, bubble of protection. He is inside and he is breathing and he is safe. There are air holes for him.
Good.
There's a little hole for him. And Kieran, in this state, you have the ability to move Yasin, kind of controlling that part of your body. It will have your movement speed to work and walk with him in that fashion.
Okay. Also, Kieran screaming the entire time this is happening as his blood kind of transfuses into stone, ripping away from him to create this thing. His ribs start to kind of be revealed a little bit, and it's all climbing up his neck, where it's just gashed, open flesh. It doesn't seem to bother him as much, but he's definitely in pain. But he starts slowly moving Yasin in the dome.
Another 16 bolts fall on your shield.
Oh, on her shield.
On her shield. And now cracks are starting to form in it. And you can see
How are we doing? I'm getting people to move along.
by this time, half the people, about 15 of them, have made it through the line of soldiers protecting them and have made it inside the castle battlements. They are as safe as they can be inside of its walls. At least the further they go towards its center, the more protection they will have. They are safe for now. You have, let's see, 15, there was 27, so you have like
I have like
13 left to get through.
something like that.
Kieran, are you bringing up the rear of that, moving with the people? Okay.
I picked up the mom.
Mm,
I've got the mom. I've got the little girl's hand.
okay. You'll also be moving at half speed. You and Kieran are next to each other. You basically you will have 2 rotations of the shield strike to get through this.
Do we have positions like on the map?
Uh,
Not quite.
not exactly. This isn't really mappable just yet. if you
Okay.
will. It's more of you're on the bridge. So if you think about, you can show them where the bridge is, just so they can kind of visually think about this.
Bridge.
So that, give or take, is your positions, if you will. Link there at the start of the bridge. Zelda would now be next to Nim and all of you.
Right about. Come on. Yeah.
This bubble that Nim is projected is about a 30-foot radius. And since most people tend to walk at about 30 feet, that's why it's halved 15 and 15, 2 rounds for you to get from the back of this barrier to the bridge. The soldiers, let's see how they're doing. They just have shields. They don't have magic protecting them. Right now they're doing pretty good. As these bolts have fallen, they have just been right underneath them. And these shields are a decent size. They aren't just like little quarter shields. These are half of their body length. They are honor guard. And so they're able to take these bolts and you watch as these soldiers extend them out over the people, risking their own bodies as things are falling, but they are all alive and they're all still doing okay. Your shield has about 25 points of damage left in it. I will give you all a minute to think, to do, if you want to do something before the next salvo hits.
Can I kind of get a read on what's going on with the lightning and where is it coming from, kind of thing?
Give me an Arcana check with disadvantage. You can roll your eyes all you want, but y'all don't eat.
Sorry. Oh my gosh, I hope it's higher than that.
With a 12, you know for sure that crack has opened up another realm. You don't know where or why. Well, why you kind of get, you guys have been figuring this out for a while. These realms are colliding. That Thonis has been trying to stop the collision. And so you know that another realm at this moment has collided with Hyrule. You don't know anything else about the origin of this lightning, these bolts, only that it's another realm. As you all wait, 18 more bolts fall onto this shield. Nim, the strike of all of these starts to reverberate through your body, and you fall to one knee. And Zelda is there at your side, and she grabs you, and you feel her kind of pick you up, and she goes, "Just a little longer. We've almost got them all inside. Can you do it?"
I can do it.
Another 5, 6. I'm trying to split what's in half. 6 people, we'll say it's about half. Another 6 people make it through and past the soldiers. Again, they extend their shields over their people, but one of them extends too far, and a stray bolt pierces through his chest, and you watch as a hole rips open from his back to the chest, right where his heart would be. And in an instant, and you watch him fall. And where there were 6, there are now 5. The others try to move in a way to interlock their shields, but there is a bit of a gap that they're trying to accommodate for. And they do this by exposing their bodies further to the raining fire from the sky. One more round, and Estrella and Kieran will make it through. One more round to think about what else might you want to try to do.
I'm casting Shield of Faith on the kid.
And what does Shield of Faith do?
Shimmering field appears and surrounds one creature of your choice within range, granting it a +2 bonus to AC for the duration. I just want to cover her up a little bit.
In this situation, what this shield is going to do for her, Estrella, is as you look down and cast this upon her, just whispering a small prayer, you feel Lunas travel through you. And to your vision only, you watch Lunas grab her other hand and hold on to it. And she looks at you and goes, "This one won't die. I swear it."
Okay.
Anybody else want to try anything else?
Where are the guards that aren't exposed to the shield?
The guards are on the bridge. The shield stops just at that bridge line. So they are providing the rest of the protection.
Kieran's gonna, somewhat losing grip on his grasp on realms, especially with the collision happening. He's going to slip into Misty Step and teleport 30. He can teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space.
Yep, and I believe you can take someone with you of equal or lesser weight.
Yes.
And yeah, Yasin, you and Yasin are very similarly built. He is definitely around your weight class. So yeah, the two of you are easily able to do this. So all of you watch as almost Kieran kind of has this moment of just eyes glazing over. And in an instant, you watch this smoke kind of almost appear from his body, just seep out of the wounds that he has, out of the rock arm that he possesses, and you feel this gust of wind as he moves forward from his position past the soldiers and right there at the gate, the entrance to the castle.
And then I'll cast Second Wind with my action surge, which uses both of those.
Okay.
To rejoin my arm. And it gives me 1d10 plus 2 HP of health back.
Awesome.
Plus
As
7.
Kieran makes this move and centers his body and tries to repair some of the damage he used to protect Yasin, 17 bolts fall from the sky. Yes,
Can I
Grim.
try to use my Eldritch Blast to either redirect them or push them back?
Absolutely. let's make this a let's make this an Arcana fight with disadvantage naturally, but roll Arcana for me, and let's see how many of these bolts you are able to move.
Okay. Fuck.
What's that, gang?
Are you fucking
Give me your numbers.
5?
5. You are able to deflect half.
Still not enough to keep my shield up.
Nim, your shield is the first thing to break. After taking just another 7 points of damage, leaving 10 left, 10 bolts. You deflect 7 bolts as you feel your arm just start to ache and burn, and almost like something tears and just and the shield shatters. Immediately, Grim reaches in through her and shoots out this eldritch blast, looking to take the remaining 10 bolts. But in her exhaustion, her power fades just enough that as she widens her beam, 5 fall through her blast. These 5 hit Nim, Zelda, Grim, Estrella, and kill one other person, lagging at the end. This person is Seth.
Okay. Nope. I have something for that. Nope.
I have something for that.
Yep. Nope. You shut up. Revivify. Not you, Melissa. It was Chris, not you. Okay.
Oh shit.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Revivify at 3rd level. So you touch a creature that has died within the last minute, and the creature returns to life with 1 hit point.
And that works. As you watch Seth get cut down by this bolt, Estrella has this moment of not again. And
Not
you
today,
watch her.
motherfucker.
She just reaches out with her other hand, the one not, of course, holding the child. She just reaches behind her, and this beam of golden energy just radiates on Seth. And even before his body hits the ground, you watch his wound seal up. And he puts his hands out in front of him to catch himself in his fall. And he goes, "Oh, I blacked out for a second." And he looks at you, Estrella, and he goes, "Oh shit, did I die?"
No time to talk about that. Go inside. Go inside.
Yes. I must get inside. Fuck, I'm down to 1 life. And he just runs in.
So aware. So aware.
And you watch him run in. Now, Nim, Grim, Estrella, and Zelda will take 12 points of damage from each bolt that hits you. Only 1.
Okay.
That's there are 5 bolts left, and I
got
chose 5 people to get hit. For any kind of villager, this is more than they could take. These are insta deaths. But for all of you, you have some life. You have some ability to take some damage. So you all take 12 points of damage. These are powerful bolts. The shield has collapsed. The last villagers have made it through. The 5 guards start to lower their shields, and Zelda looks at the 3 of you who remained with her and goes, "We have no time left. We must make it inside the castle. Follow me. We're going into this deepest part. The safest place I know for us and my people is the Chamber of the Triforce. It stands in the center. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yep.
Then let us make haste." And she just turns and bolts.
Nim's gonna make sure she's last. She wants to make sure everyone's in.
Roll persuasion.
Persuasion. Oh.
Yeah, because Link wants to do that.
Oh, okay. Well,
I
I
was
was
like,
more my party.
Oh, I'm gonna push you in.
Persuasion. Okay, 10.
Link knows what you're doing, and he bows and appreciates it. And as he bows, you feel his hand grab you around your collar and toss you across the other side.
Respectfully, get the fuck in.
Respectfully.
Respectfully, no.
Respectfully, get your ass there.
And you watch him. If you, as you turn to kind of look at him like, hey, you see him lock back to back with you, and just moves with his shield extended. He and sheaths his sword, but keeps his shield out against any stray bolts. As you two pass the castle battlements, another hail of bolts falls from the sky. Whatever was left of the refugee camp, it is torn down. Fires rage. But in the distance, you hear something, Nim. And if everyone else has stayed around the castle battlements, they hear it too.
I knew it was fucking
Oh no, not.
It'll be all right.
And you see her amidst the flames, just rearing up as she calls. And you can
Is she
hear
in- How far?
Oh, she is a good 50 feet from you at least.
Hold on.
It's like the Jurassic Park scene, the Jurassic World scene, whenever the freaking brontosaurus. No,
That made me cry. Stop it.
Oh my
God,
god.
this episode is
Hold on.
heart-wrenching.
I can't leave her out
Fuck.
there. I can't leave
Chris,
her out
I don't
there.
have enough money for another therapy appointment after this.
I can't leave her out there. Or
Hold
I'm
on.
going to.
Oh, I know what I'm gonna do.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna knock out Nim.
No, the fuck you aren't. No. Can I get out before she can I roll against it?
This is going to be interesting.
Oh god.
I need you, Grim, to make an attack roll against Nim's AC. If you can't break her AC, there's no point in going further.
Does she get a disadvantage? Or no?
Not yet.
Oh.
Against her AC.
Yeah, so make an attack roll your D20. You know
Uh-huh.
what? And tell me your number. It's like fighting an enemy.
18.
Does that break your AC?
Matches.
It matches. Matching goes to the attacker.
Shit.
You were able to break her AC.
Don't you leave Tina out there. Don't do it. No.
Now the real fight begins. This is
Oh,
going to be strength versus dexterity
Yeah.
with disadvantage for both of you.
So
Yeah.
she gets me, but I have to get this. Okay.
So who rolls first?
Your strength, she's dexterity. She's trying to escape and run, and you are trying to just
Is it a saving throw or no?
no,
Okay.
just straight dex and straight strength.
Do I have pluses on it?
You'll see at the top.
If you have strength, yeah.
You'll see like strength, dexterity.
Oh, okay. Do I roll first?
I already rolled. Go ahead.
Oh. Which one is that? Okay. Okay, proceed.
What's your number?
Oh, I have to mine.
You're the attacker, so let's see. Yeah, let's go attacker first.
I got 7.
I got 13.
13, just narrowly.
Oh, I was supposed to roll twice.
That's okay. It's low. Yeah, I
I
doubt
was-
you'll roll lower than a 7, and if you do, don't worry about it. Because she already beat it, so it's fine. So here's what happens. Grim, how are you trying to stop her? What's the movement that you're doing? Is it a-
Honestly, what I thought of was The chin.
Sure. As Nim sort of turns towards you all with this look on her face, like, I'm going to go get her. Like, you see it in Grim, you are the closest to her. And in that split second, you don't even think about it. You just, boom, your elbow just comes out. And it's almost slow motion. And Nim is caught off guard. And you watch as this elbow comes towards your chin, ready to knock you out. And almost at the point that it makes contact, your instincts kick in and you roll with the hit.
Mm-hmm.
But you take half damage from it. And just this cut appears right on your lip as you kind of, your teeth and lips just smash together under this metal elbow. Your bludgeoning attack, what's your
That
hand
is
attack? Is that like a 6?
I could tell you what the hand-to-hand.
Oh,
It's like 6, right?
Unarmed strike is 1d6 plus 5
For you,
for me.
but not for normal people, because you're a monk. Let's just go with 6, just to make it
Yeah.
quick. And so you take 3 points of damage.
3 points. Yeah.
Amidst the damage you've already taken, blood kind of trickling from your mouth. You
you
can
just knock out.
you can flee. Do you have any parting comments?
No, I'm just gonna shoot her a little like nice try, and then I'm
Can I
going.
try to stop her again?
I'm going to try
Okay.
to cast my cantrip called Blade Ward, which I draw a sigil in the air, warding in the air, and then until the end of my next turn, I have resistance against bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, and damage.
Cool. We'll call this piercing damage that's falling from the sky.
Okay,
And
as Nim runs by though, I want to hand her something.
Okay.
I've got my armor on, but I also have a shield. I'm gonna toss her my shield as she runs back outside, just like a physical shield.
Okay.
Cool. If I don't think I can dash while I'm exhausted.
No, you cannot dash while
I still have 45 movement, so
Yes, you do. So you can make it to her on your
most of this first.
Yeah, so here's how this is going to work. As you are rushing out, you turn and grab Estrella's shield and just equip it onto the opposite arm that is from your hurt one. And this shield will cover, your head and everything. It's a good size for a vital body part kind of block, but definitely not as big as the Hyrulean shields. You rush out and you just start to make this sigil out of instinct. From it, you crash through the sigil, and immediately you are surrounded by this warding energy of weapons, almost as swords that you see them just spinning around you. A volley comes at you from the sky. I want you to make a dexterity saving throw with disadvantage.
But it's a saving throw, right?
Correct.
Okay. 14.
Nice. I rolled an 11. Got lucky.
I had started with a 6, so
As you are rushing out, you watch these bolts fall around you like rain, and you know exactly which ones you need to dodge, and it's only 2 of them. As they come towards you, your body arcs into a roll as you dive, come up, your foot catches the ground, you twist and move at a 45 from that position. As another bolt, boom, lands right where that foot was, and you move 45 feet in that one turn. You need to go one more time and endure one more salvo to make it to Tina. Are you going to keep going?
I'm going to keep going.
Dexterity saving throw.
I'm already 45 feet out here. I can't okay. 13.
Easily done. You continue moving forward. These bolts mean nothing to you. With your shield, you just bat one away that's coming straight for your head. You dive so quickly through the fire that you know nothing is going to touch your skin. And as you land and roll, boom, you pat out one that was on your robe and make it up to Tina. At this point, you see that Tina is bleeding. She has taken some of these bolts, but she is a big girl and she has more life than your average villager does. but you also see that Seth's wagon has collapsed onto the chain that was holding her.
What is it connected to her with?
It is connected to a collar that is around her neck.
Like a leather collar or what?
This is a leather collar made of braided material, so it's definitely strong, but it is still
Is there
just
a
made of leather.
clasp?
There is a clasp, and you can see it. It's on the top of her hump.
So, with my gloves of thievery do give me more dexterity to sleight of hand. Could I try to sleight of hand the collar off of her?
I need you to make an animal handling roll to see if you can calm her, because you can tell that Tina
Is not
freaking
not
out.
okay. Okay. Oh, okay. 15.
With a 15, you are able to catch Tina's eye. What are you doing to calm her down?
I'm trying to grab at least one of the horns and like, hey, shh, 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 and trying to get her to focus on just me at first.
And you do that. As you grab her horn, she sort of lifts you into the air a little bit and pushes and puts you back down as she's thrashing around. But she notices kind of the weight difference and turns to look at you. And you just hear her, oh, and it's the
We're gonna get
saddest.
you out of here, big girl. Don't worry about it.
With that, you are able to sort of swing up onto her back. I need you to make sleight of hand to see how quickly you can unclasp this.
So this is with disadvantage as well, right?
Correct.
But I can still add +5 from my.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
All that still applies. Now, while Nim is figuring
Well,
out
that's
this,
+10 tech.
what are the rest of you doing at the castle battlements with Zelda? Are you watching her? Are you trying to get in deeper? Are you trying to talk to Zelda? What is your plan?
I'm gonna ask Zelda what happened the last time.
Last time we were barely able to save those that we had, just like this one. A second crack had formed in the sky, and from it, fire, only literal fire, rained down upon us. This time, it's almost as if it's magic. There's energy, but it's still the same result. It's an incursion. We are being invaded, and I don't know how to stop it, at least not from here. But maybe something in the chamber of the Triforce can help us. I know about as much as you.
What in the chamber would tell us?
There is a layer to the chamber that I have not been able to unlock for my entire life. No one in our family lineage has. But it is said, legend, if you will, that there's another story besides just the one that we preach of Hylia coming down and saving Hyrule and using the Triforce. There's something deeper, something older. Maybe it holds the answers. Perhaps it is connected to Thunkao, but either way, we must go there now. Zelda looks at your hand, and Estrella at yours. You are the bears of the Triforce. You were the ones chosen. Is the third here, the one marked with courage?
Kieran stands up, tasting blood after flashing through space-time and matter, and realizes that his cheek is just open, and he starts to fix himself with stone, and his eye is all bloodied and gashed, and he basically takes the stone covering from Yasin and walks over and just kind of like holds his arm up with the insignia. He's like unable to talk.
I thought as much. Interesting that foreigners will be given with this ability, this connection. This is the foaming from all the damage she's taking. She looks at two gods. She goes, two of you, quickly, take this man here who is injured, treat him, and when he is ready, bring him to the chamber of the Triforce. We may have need for him yet. Take care of him. Make him do haste. Do haste. Go. And you watch. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm gonna scream at, yell to Nim. All I could think was to bring that ass, but be like,
Don't bring that in.
I was like, bring that ass.
That timing though.
Come on. Talking to you.
Mhm. Do you
Well,
remember
I
that you
am-
all have
Oh yeah,
a
I
way
got a
to
rock.
communicate?
Bring that
Nim
ass.
to Grim to Nim.
Let's
Grim
go.
to Nim.
Grim to Nim.
Ew.
Creepy.
All Nim hears
I'm,
is just
I'm gonna
screaming. There's multiple people.
I'm gonna be I'm kind of busy at the moment.
How long?
I got a 14, by the way. Sleight of hand.
Longer than she wants.
Leave the cow and come back.
We got set. We're not leaving Tina.
That's a little bit more human.
Uh, eh.
Eat burgers later.
I stop! You're distracting me. Leave me alone.
We
At this
gotta
time, the two
go.
guards reach in, they pick up Yasin. You see them start to carry his unconscious form to deeper within.
I hope
the
they
castle.
drop him.
As they do, one of the guards kind of goes, "Huh," and you see like his butt slip a little bit, but he catches him and then like lifts him back up, and he's okay. He's good. Just a little
He's
slip
getting a
there.
Handsy
Heavier
there,
than he thought.
guard.
Okay, while Nim is screaming, while Grim is screaming at Nim right before we move, I'm gonna cure wounds Kieran because I just looked over and I can see his teeth through his face.
You can do that, absolutely.
Second level. Oh. 15, Kieran.
Oh wow, nice.
Well done. Now, please keep in mind all the spells that you are using, keep track of them, deduct them, because
It matters.
eagle mess stuff gonna happen. A participant enabled closed captioning. Ooh, cool.
I've just done.
Chris.
Did I do that?
I don't know, but anyway, it's fine. Just happened. No big. Yes.
Question. Do I sense the Night Mother?
Roll perception with disadvantage.
I've just used a cantrip, so I'm not.
We're gonna use my sparkly purpley cosmic one.
Ooh. Okay, cosmic.
Perception disadvantage. That's
Okay.
an 18. I got a 16 and a 14.
Okay. With an 18, you just sort of take a moment and stop and reorient yourself. And you try to go, is something else here? Is there something deeper happening? You cannot directly sense the presence of the Night Mother. What you do sense is almost a chant, a gathering of worshipers, if you will, calling to the Night Mother, and you feel that connection to them as they try to reach out to her. And as you sort of try to lock onto where that's coming from, you can tell 100% that it's coming from the new tear that has opened up in the sky, the one that continuously rains down these bolts of energy. Across that rift are worshipers of the Night Mother chanting and calling her presence as fire rains down. Nim, what? So you roll a 14, right?
Yeah.
That means you have to endure one more salvo from this before
Before I can get the collar.
before you can
off?
get the collar off. Now, here's the thing. You have two things that you can do. Protect yourself or protect most of Tina. You can't do both. So think about who you want to do that to. And I want you to roll a straight D20. If you match or are lower than what I roll, you can protect one of the two. And then I will tell you how much damage the other takes.
But what if?
Don't pick the freaking buffalo. And the fact that I just had to say buffalo. kind of pissed
Hey.
me
It's a
off.
buffo.
That's
yeah,
it's
it's beautiful.
perfection.
Nim, we
if I
need
use
you. We
perfect
need you
shield.
for later.
Yeah, say it in your intercom.
You
Keep
can
talking
use perfect shield again.
If I use it again,
You will need to beat a 13. Wisdom saving throw with disadvantage.
We're gonna need that later.
Oh, she can use it as many
I
times
can
as she
use it
wants.
whenever.
There's no limit. It just gets higher and higher.
That means it's gonna be harder to use.
But if I get above, do I save both of us?
Of course. Another 50 points of damage you'll be able to take.
A heartbeat does not help. Thank you.
What do you choose?
I'm giving you my power of courage that I had for the last couple of sessions.
Can she survive another salvo?
Depends on how high it is.
Can Nim almost sense this is coming? Like almost like
Oh,
time-wise?
it's you know it's coming.
Every hair.
Being out there so long, there are two things that you feel. It's almost like when a thunderstorm comes in and you can feel this electric charge in the air, you can almost smell the ozone. You've started to let your battle senses take over and you can smell that buildup. And at the same time, you feel your hair start to raise up and stand on end. And you associate this with the coming of another salvo. You cannot sense how strong it is.
Right. I'm trying my hardest to get this stupid collar off her. I'm like, damn it, Seth, why did you have to do this? Fuck. And she just takes out her gem again and casts perfect shield.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Ah,
You must beat 30.
what is it? 13? It's a saving throw? Oh, it's a 14.
Impressive.
Did you just have a little heart attack?
You are now up to 14 the next time you decide to use this gem as a saving throw. As you curse Seth's name, you grab this, and from you, a shield emits 30 feet in radius, 50 points of damage it can take. You launch this just as another salvo rains down from the sky. 11 bolts strike against this shield. It has 39 hit points, but you snap this clasp, finally freeing Tina from this. If you wish, you can take her with you into the castle. Your animal handling was high enough that she will obey your command.
I'm gonna take her. Take her from there because oh my god.
All right. And so you do. Believe it or not, Tina has the same running speed as you do because you are freaking fast, you stupid elf. And she can make this 50-foot distance into salvos. So you just kind of yip, and Tina just barrels through the fire as much out of fear as out of just trusting your guidance as her rider. The rest of you see through the flames the head of this buffo part through, and on her back is Nim holding up her gem as another rainstorm of 13 bolts rain down on them, but she does not stop and keeps riding. One more salvo. There's no way it's going to break on this turn. 6 more crash into it, and then you hear the thundering hooves of Tina as she hits the bridge, and she just makes it into the castle just in the nick of time. And her horns just barely make the entrance. She's a big girl, but she's in there, and she is safe and alive. Out of nowhere, you hear Seth just kind of, oh, I had to come back. I had to check to see if Tina was, Tina, you Nim, how you saved a Nim. You okay. Oh my god, Nim. Oh,
I'm still on top of her. I'm going to go and like pick him up and just kind of like put him on top of her head and then slide off and be like, man, if you weren't at 1 HP, I swear I would kick your ass.
I'm forever indebted. I am yours, whatever you need, anytime, ever. No charge, no question, nothing. I owe you so much. And you see in his eyes these tears that wet his fur, and these just run down his cheeks and fall onto Tina. And
I'm going to just kind of
Kieran wants to talk.
pet his head. I'm so sorry.
No, my stupid camera won't focus.
Oh, is that what that was? I was
Yeah,
like,
no,
bro, just
I'm
unmute
like-
yourself.
I can't see. My stupid eye, I got it destroyed in the freaking saving Yasa, and now it's like the camera's giving me an authentic experience.
there's no
Blurry.
focus, no focusing.
She's just going to like kind of pet and ruffle his hair and just be like, she doesn't really say anything. She just kind of, the shield's down now. And
Yep.
she's just kind of, is everyone okay? Grim, nice shot. Couldn't get me though. Good job. Estrella. Thank you. Give you your shield back. Kieran, you all right, man?
His eye is kind of like oozing out of his face.
Oh,
Yeah, he's pretty messed up.
I'm just gonna, as you hand me the shield, I'm just gonna like, don't do that.
She's gonna be like,
Ow.
with the shield.
all right. I'm a little hurt. Like, please don't hit me anymore.
Oh, do
Okay.
you need cure wounds? You, how bad are you?
I'm okay. I'm 35 of 56, so I'm okay. I'm all right.
That's not okay.
That's
That's
not okay. Okay, we're about to fight something, I'm sure, because Chris is mean tonight. So
he's
He
not
took the
mean.
stick
He's
hood off,
just,
it's a
he's
better.
just ruthless.
A little better.
Don't worry, guys. I got a trick up my sleeve.
first level.
Is it another arm?
10 points, Nim.
Hello.
Sorry,
It
what?
was like a new arm. He grew a new one.
I am Spider Rock Man.
What was that?
10 points, Nim.
Oh, thank you, dear. That's
Nice.
Whew.
Zelda comes up to you, Nim, and she goes, "It was probably one of the bravest, dumbest, most foolish, most amazing things I've seen."
Yeah, that's what I usually. That's usually where I lay. Dumb, stupid, foolish. Eh.
Reminds me of a friend of mine that I know. And as she walks away, she gives Link a wink that all of you catch, and you just hear Link kind of go, and he sheaths his shield. He kind of puts it around him like a backpack, and he looks at the four of you and nods and motions to follow. And Queen Zelda makes her way into the castle. Do you all follow?
Yes.
Okay. So now they'll be up here, sweetheart. So if you just want to move everybody into that space.
Him is
there.
crawling behind.
No, I'm doing all right now.
So yeah, army crawl kind of sliding.
Grab everybody. Yasin's like over there.
Yeah,
Over
he's
this-
been taken to the medical wing. You all won't. No, so they're gonna be in that place
This
first.
side.
Yep.
Okay, this side.
So as you walk in, there are a few different corridors and paths that Zelda takes, and you stay with her. But eventually, it leads into a wider chamber that has a fountain at its center. The fountain has since ceased to work, but there is still water in the base of it. Inside the castle, you can't exactly tell where you are, but both Grim and Kieran, make a history roll for me, please. Give me a history ability check.
With disadvantage.
with disadvantage because you are all still hurting. Everything you're gonna be doing tonight is gonna be a disadvantage. I'm so sorry.
Mother. Nat 1.
Oh yeah, it's okay. And Grim?
I don't know yet. I'm scared.
Okay.
Yeah,
on the
I'm
other side
still.
From Grim, so she doesn't try to smack me again.
Um, and it was history
Yes.
11.
Okay. So Kieran, you're tired. And a lot has been taken out of you. And while you feel you should know where you are at this time, it's enough for you to walk and to keep moving and staying with the party. But Grim, you look around and you start to remember this place from your journey with Ganon. When he took you in your spirit form to the chamber of the Triforce, you know that you are just outside the chamber. It is literally across the way on the other side of the fountain, past these two double doors that you see. You're in an antechamber, a waiting place where people would once come and pay their respects to the Triforce from a distance. Past this point is like entering the Holy of Holies. Only a select few are allowed to be in the presence of such a sacred object. It is here that Princess Zelda turns to the group, and you hear her say, past this point, very few have tread. Normally, this is a realm for only the high priests and priestesses, mainly myself and a few others. The chamber holds a secret. That much we all know. But I have not been able to unlock it for my entire life. Maybe the four of you here can do what I could not. There is writing in there I cannot read that matches nothing in any of our manuscripts, nothing throughout any of the ages. And there is certainly some sort of puzzle. It confounds us. But I am trusting you with the most sacred place in all of Hyrule. I need to know why I should trust each of you to enter this space. Who among you wishes to go first?
Kieran kind of steps forwards through everybody.
And Grim does as well with a raise of the hand. And she looks at the two of you and goes, I am not surprised. The bearer of courage and the bearer of power are the first to step forward, while the bearer of wisdom waits to see what will happen. Already I can see why the Triforce chose you three. Please. And she turns to Kieran. Bearer of courage, why should you be granted access to our most holy chamber?
Kieran just kind of turns his head a little bit and peels back the stone. Have I not sacrificed enough to show my willingness to serve? And then recedes it back up.
I would expect nothing less from the bearer of courage. Sacrifice is at the core of all Hyruleans, but those who bear the mark of courage sacrifice the most. You may proceed. Bearer of power, why should you be granted access to this holy chamber?
Grim's gonna take her shirt a little and show her and be like, because I've already been in there.
You do bear its mark, and there's a darkness that I sense from you. Not just your own darkness, but you were touched by another. Who called to you in this realm?
Called to me?
Yes, one called, spoke to you, joined with you for a time. I can sense the presence on you. Who was it?
This green guy. I believe his name was Gannon.
Bearer of power, you speak truth and show your trustworthy nature. Though I am cautious, I grant you access to this chamber. Who else wishes to plead their case?
Estrella will step forward.
Bearer of wisdom, after the other two have gone before, you bring up the rear, not as back, but as a wise person, knowing the way forward is possible. Tell me, bearer of wisdom, why should you be granted access to this chamber?
Estrella is going to say, because it's bigger than us, because we have more than one realm to save. We want to save this one, but we want to save the other ones out there too. And this could be the answer.
I suspected as much myself in my studies, as these cracks had appeared some time ago. You are wise to seek help in this chamber for the greater good. The three of you were chosen well. Bearer of wisdom, I grant you access. At this point, Zelda turns to you, Nim. You are the one called Nimriani, yes?
She stands up a little taller. Nimrianye Saku.
Tell me, Nimriani Saku. And as you bow, describe it.
It is very poised, like she knows exactly what she's doing, like she was taught from a very young age how to bow at the waist. Her robes, grabs her robes and kind of in a little curtsy bow type thing.
You all watch as Zelda acknowledges this bow with one of her own, and it matches Nim's almost exactly. The poise, the grace, the pull of the skirt. It is a bow of nobility, one you've never seen Nim do before. Nimriani Sakuv is a highborn name, not one from Hyrule, but I sense the noble blood of it.
That would be my parents.
Indeed. You are of noble birth.
Yes, I was taught to talk like this and curtsy and be proper, which, of course, you deserve the respect of.
You say the right things, but I sense the darkness from you, one that has gotten a hold, perhaps deeper than you might be aware of. It is not by chance that you go last before me. Tell me, Nimriani Sakuv, even of one of noble birth such as yourself, why should I grant you access into this holy chamber?
My nobility shouldn't mean anything to grant me into this chamber. But I care for your people as much as I care for my friends. And whereas I would let you deny access, I would plead that I could protect my friends in there.
Imriani, your heart is still pure. Hold tight to that purity. For that which you play with is more dangerous than the darkest among you. You speak truth, young one. I grant you access into this holy chamber. The four of you are well met. You are suited to each other's strengths and weaknesses. I speak not as a queen, but as a high priestess who has spent her life studying the wills of magic and deity. You all flirt with danger. You all carry darkness. And the darkest among you shines the brightest. Bear that in mind. As she says this, she backs up, and the doors open automatically to her presence. And she continues and turns with just this sophisticated grace and power, and steps through into the chamber, and there is none holding you back. Link remains on the outside and takes position as an honor guard to the right side of the door. Do you all go in?
Enter.
I will follow in last.
I want each of you to make a perception check based on your passive perception. Yep, your passive perception. Don't have to make a roll for it, no disadvantage. Just on what your passive perception is. It's going to be on the left-hand side. It's just one
underneath
of your
the saving throws.
Yep, underneath saving throws. One of your natural abilities that you have. Passive perception.
It says senses, passive perception. It's the top one.
Just the natural, the number?
Yep.
14.
14.
16.
2 16s and Grim.
Do you see the box where it says saving throws?
No.
Top left. Under strength and dexterity and all that.
She's using the mobile app, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
I can look at that real quick.
Passive perception.
Yep.
Yes. Passive wisdom /
10.
Okay. All of you notice this to an extent, but Nim and Estrella, you are the most taken in by what you see. You are the most attuned. In this chamber is the very same story that you saw in the cave following Grim when she was possessed by Ganon. It is the story of the Triforce. You see writings along the wall, different silhouettes, each bearing a color and a triangle symbolizing a piece of the Triforce. And you see as they come together at the center of this circular room, it's arch towards the top into a dome shape. In the center of this room is a fountain that still trickles water. And at the very top, as each of these figures hold their hand with the Triforce engraved on it, at the top is an image of Hylia, as you saw her in the cave, golden, radiant, silhouetted. And at the top of this fountain is a place where the Triforce should be, but it is not there. All around the base of the Triforce is writing. And as the two of you study, you can quickly identify 3 different languages, distinct and foreign, except one. One is written in an ancient elven tongue from Faerun, something both of you would have seen in your scholarly studies. The two of you could read this. Do you?
Yes.
This part of it says, bear the mark.
check.
Zelda turns to all of you and goes, in this chamber, we kept the Triforce. It is here where it has been guarded and guided. And in times past, it is in this chamber where my predecessors, mothers, down through the ages, would merge with the goddess Hylia, fully being imbued with her power and essence to protect this land in times of need. I have not been able to summon her here, nor make a connection. The Triforce is gone. All we know is we have seen shadows of Ganon through these hallowed halls. And I have heard his voice. He whispers of coming destruction. Nothing more. The story you see around you is ancient, and it is written in my language. This we all know well from birth, the story of the first bearers of the Trident Mark, those who embodied courage, wisdom, and power. The one marked with power was Ganon in his earliest days. And as they summoned Hylia, he grew hungry for more power, for the power of the goddess herself. And it turned him from mortal to this ethereal force of calamity, a blight upon our land, a force of nature itself. And throughout generations, my forebears have fought against him with the power of those with the mark. It has always taken all three to defeat him, and it shall forevermore. A cycle unto the ages. This is as far as I can get. Writing on the base of this, we thought it was just artwork, embellishments upon an altar whose meaning was forever lost to time. But I see recognition in your eyes, Nimriani, Estrella. Can you read this?
A little bit.
What did it say?
Just says bear the mark. That's the only part we can read.
A mark. Perhaps it is the mark of the Triforce. Perhaps if you all bear it together, maybe that is the answer.
Group fist bump.
Again, that worked so well last time.
Okay, but we can try.
Do it less aggressively.
Okay.
Less aggressively. I don't know how to do it.
As the three of you attempt to do this similar formation that freed Grim from her prison, nothing happens. No spark, no energy, no transference. Kieran, you almost wince, expecting something tragic, your PTSD just kind of, but nothing happens. And you watch Zelda sort of deflate. Is it all meaningless? Does any of this matter? In its greatest time of need, how can we not unlock any power? Hylia, have you finally left us? Is this to be the last age of my people?
Are there any shadowed areas in this hall?
Grim, speak up, Grim.
Oh,
Any shadowed areas, Kieran? Grim, what was your thought too? Because I know you had your hand up for a while.
I was just wondering, was that all that was written or all that they can read?
It's all that me and Estrella can read.
Yeah.
Can I use the eyes of the runekeeper?
Of course you can. It's one of your greatest gifts. And so, Grim, you take a moment and you touch where your heart is, and in your mind whisper to Alexander, and you feel his presence come alongside you, just in your mind. I suppose we're reading something else again, are we? Well, by all means, love, read away. And instantly, everything becomes clear to you. And Alexander's presence does not leave your side. He is there to consult if you wish. Kieran, you were looking for...
Shadowed corners.
Room.
And
Roll
I'm-
perception with disadvantage.
Okay. Ooh, 20 and 18. Perception is +4, so 22.
Nice roll. As you look around, you can see that the room has basic shadows cast on it from these sconces that move around this circular area. And all of them make sense to you. It's casting light, a shadow should be in that corner. This one casts light, shadow in that corner. But something keeps you looking at each of these shadows, and you count one extra shadow than there should be, that has no direct source of light casting it. This shadow is directly behind Nim and her presence. So for you, it would be across the fountain and sort of up to your right. And for a split second, you swear the shadow changes shape, but it's only in the blink of an eye.
You tripping again?
Kieran is like slowly, like while the lady was talking, while Zelda was talking, and while Grim is doing her mind reading of the runes, I'm like slowly just walking around, like watching, like fixated on this thing, going sort of closer, but kind of adjacent to the group in almost a reactionary state.
The rest of you would easily see this, minus Grim, who's sort of lost in a bit of a trance as she reads these words. Do Estrella or Nim react to Kieran's movements?
I'm going to kind of like lean and follow him, like,
Yeah, I just gonna watch.
She's gonna watch.
okay.
I'm gonna pull a gem from my pocket. I have still like, I think it was like 19 left in my pocket of like little stones and gems that I carry with me from an artificer.
Mm-hmm.
And
Kieran's just been rattling around like spare change in the pocket.
Sounds like change.
I have two of these, but it's basically like a flashbang
Mm-hmm.
in a sense, not in the sense of like it does damage or anything, but it like creates a light source for, I think it's like 30 minutes.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna throw one at it and then get in a ready state.
All right.
The bear.
As you do,
Did
you
you just like pull at my feet or what?
he sort of throws it up into the air.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, a little bit higher up above you. It's like,
Yeah.
like a test.
I mean, what goes up must come down. It will eventually fall, but as it reaches its highest point, it's like a flashbulb, flashbang. It goes off, and for a second, Estrella and Nim, the two of you are blinded by this, and it catches Zelda's attention because she's fixated on what Grim is doing, and she sees this flash and sort of looks at you, Kieran, as she watches you throw, and she asks you, "By the goddess, what are you doing, Kieran?" But what you see, ready for it, you close your eyes and open them right at the moment where the light would adjust, knowing the timing of this flashbang. And you watch as every shadow immediately goes away, except the one you were watching, which just stands in defiance of this light. And then you watch it move higher across the ceiling and just sort of slink out through the top. At the very top of this archway is like it's a dome, it's a circular kind of recess, if you will, to allow light to come through. Zelda watches this with you, and you hear her go, "By the goddess. Kieran, you're tracking. Oh, that is brilliant. That was not cast by one of the lights. We do not have much time. If anything, that could be Ganon, or something dark that is trying to invade this realm. I sense that you may have chased it for a time, but it will return in force. Grim, what do you read? What do you read? Grim,
I can make up some stuff.
I know, as you've been studying this, the phrase, you start to put the phrase together because you started with bear the mark, and you realize that wasn't the start of the sentence. The sentence actually lied in these carvings that look like a series of geometric cuts in the stone, U's and triangles and squares and circles with parts cut off and lines that jut out in different directions. Nothing that makes any sense to you. You've never seen this language, but through your ability, it does start to register with you, and you can read the full statement. And it is this: those who wander bear the mark, reign asunder who thou art, reveal the truth, align the facts, and all shall be revealed. As a matter of fact,
I want to start looking around the room and see what I can notice.
do you tell Zelda or anybody else what you've read? She did ask you directly, or are
Yeah.
you just searching around the room frantically now?
I'm gonna no. Once I understand, I'm gonna be like, oh, I still have what's his face. I'm gonna talk to him in my head for a minute.
Sure, what do you want to ask him?
I'm gonna be like, do you think that's metaphorical? Do you think that's real, like physical? What are you sensing, my guy?
Roll closest thing, roll religion for me. Let's see how much Alexander does know.
Come on, Alex.
Can't just give it to you. I'm gonna work for it. Roll that dice.
Oh, do I have to roll twice?
Yes.
Okay, I was just making sure.
Yep, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. 10. Sorry, that was
Okay.
impressive.
Cool. Alexander, he sort of takes a moment. You see his presence. Look around, look to you, Estrella, Kieran, and he goes, honestly, love, I would take it literally. Think of the marks on each of your hands. Bear the mark. The three of you do bear a mark. Think of this tapestry. These three bared a mark to summon Hylia. This is something literal, but the idea of its truth, that part eludes me.
Can I tell everybody, but can
Yeah.
you say it again so I hear it
Oh
again?
yeah, everybody hears what you said. I saw you writing it down.
I got most of it. I didn't get all of it.
What do you have? What parts do you have?
I have up to reign asunder who thou art, and then all shall be revealed in the fact. Well, I
Yeah.
missed the between that.
The between that was just a rhyme that rhymed with fact. Show the facts, show the truth. So as you all hear this, and Zelda hears it with you, Zelda says, there are three things that stand out from that. Bearing the mark, revealing the truth of who you are. I would assume that to mean as bearers of the mark. But then the last, this revelation, this, damn it, it's not coming to me.
How is rain, like the word rain being used, like to reign in or to reign above or to?
To reign as in rule.
Royalty. Yeah.
Mhm. Yes.
That's, I don't know. That's what I was thinking. Do I see triangles on the floor? Do I see any kind of signs around? Do I need to roll?
Of course, you need to roll, but this time you're going to roll investigation. And anybody can roll investigation to see if they can try to uncover something that will help.
Yeah, I want to roll investigation, but specifically on this fountain.
Okay, cool. Investigating the fountain. Grim, you're looking at the walls and the floor. Just sort of looking around in general.
Yeah.
And
Walls
Nim,
on the floor.
Nim, what are you, is there anything specifically that you're trying to investigate?
No, apparently not.
Okay, what'd you get?
I got a natural 20, but I also got a 7.
Anything to add to investigation to that 7?
2.
2, hey, that's a 9. That's a 9. You can still investigate something in particular if you wish.
I want to investigate Zelda.
Okay. Grim, what's your roll? So a 9 on Zelda.
It was investigation.
Correct.
15.
15 on the floor and walls. And Estrella for the fountain, what'd you get?
17.
17 on the fountain. Okay. Let's start with Zelda.
By the way, after this section, Kieran's actually doing something different than investigating.
What are you doing?
I'm thinking about the flashback in town that I saw. And Link is still accessible through the door, right?
Yes, the door is wide open. You can absolutely go talk to Link.
I'm gonna go talk to him about Prince Rom, who I saw in the flashback.
Okay, cool. All right, we'll get to that. Nim, as you sort of look around Zelda becomes extremely uncomfortable and she goes, can I help you, Nimriani?
Well, just checking if maybe you still had some aura of yourself, you know? It does say rain. I mean, you are the reigning queen, right?
I think I may be connected to this puzzle in some fashion.
Your family has been for a while.
Then you may investigate at your leisure. I will not take offense. And so as you as you investigate, there's a couple of things that you notice very vaguely. One, Zelda's presence in this chamber is amplified. You notice that she radiates more here, more than when you've met her in other places. Second, as you look at her hands, yours begin to itch.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Zelda.
So that's what you get.
This is player talking, by the way, not like Kieran.
Yeah.
As we move, Grim, 15, right?
Yeah.
So with a 15, you notice that this chamber seems bigger than what you see with your eyes. The way that you feel auras and presences around you, you are extending in that fashion as you investigate, and you almost sense a wall behind the wall. And as you look around the floor and the walls itself, you start to notice that some of the stones have a little bit more space between them in a pattern, as if every 10 stones, there's a gap. 10 more stones, there's a gap. And that gap lines up with the gaps you see in the floor, concentrically moving around the room towards the fountain. Estrella, investigating the fountain itself. You start to push and pull. You just get right into the water and splish splash around.
Throw back to episode 1.
As you do,
That's
you
my job.
notice that these fountain pieces, these circles, 3 of them moving their way up from the bottom and up, all are loose, as if with just enough give. Perhaps they're meant to rotate.
I'm gonna start rotating. I'm gonna see what happens.
Just randomly rotate. Cool. All
Yep.
right. Let's.
Yep. Yep.
Are there 3?
Yes, there are 3.
We need to go together.
Let's move to
You can
Kieran.
move to Kieran, go ahead.
Kieran, what do you want to ask Link?
I walk over to him, and I just mentioned I saw you in a flashback with Prince Rom, and I just watch his reaction to me
His
even
eyes-
knowing that information.
His eyes widen, and he leans in towards you and nods to continue.
Why have you never efforted any energy towards standing in the spotlight? You seem to be always in the background. With such a connection to the royal family, I'm curious why you haven't been recognized.
He sighs heavily and looks at you. And you see him weighing something in his mind. And then he goes, "On the fight below, I already broke my vow of silence. Makes no sense to continue it now, I suppose. Kieran, is it?
Mhm.
My duty to the crown is not one of standing in the spotlight, as it were. You bear the mark of courage, yes?
Hmm.
It is said, the bearer of this mark is known as the hero of time. It was prophesied that one of my lineage would be given this mark. But on the day these cracks appeared in the sky, no such mark befell me or any in my clan. It was then that I took a vow of silence, feeling that perhaps Hylia did not find me worthy. Now I find that the mark was actually passed to you in this cycle. It's curious why a foreigner would be chosen, but I accept it begrudgingly, perhaps. It is clear to me that my duty is not to shine, but to protect and die for my queen. There's nothing more for me.
Trust me, if I could give it to you, I would.
And I would take it. But I fear that at this point I would take it for the wrong reasons. My humility has failed me as of late. I'm jealous of you, Kieran. Not of the power you possess, but of the importance of the mark on history that you will make on my people, on this land, to heal or destroy it. To be frank, sir,
A foreigner should not possess this over the rest of Hyrule, and yet here you stand before me with that mark and the blessing of Hylia, and I have to wonder, what did I do wrong?
Nothing. You mention Hero of Time. It's an interesting concept, considering I am trying to save a time that I haven't lived. This is not my timeline. This is not my realm. This is not my world. I'm from a different path.
You have traveled through time.
Yes.
Interesting. There's an irony and a connection to this that I will admit is poetic. It fits, it works. Zelda is the reincarnation of Hylia. Her lineage has been as such, as my lineage has been destined to protect her, Hylia, throughout time. It's why she exists, it is why I exist, it is why the cycle exists. Only Ganon seems eternal in all this, never changing, always growing. But now there is change. There is you. Tell me, hero of time, can you travel back along the thread? You said you saw me in Prince Ron, me as a child.
Yes.
Could you travel back further?
I can try. And with that, I'll pull out this cosmic stone that I picked up in the chambers before this, and take a look at it. And I'm going to push it into my already messed up eye. And unattuned with it, I'm going to cast Spirit Walk while touching his shoulder.
What, did you just open your eye hole?
Yes.
Oh, what a badass eye patch.
What
Right.
was it though?
He just shoved
It's a cosmic stone into my head.
his eye.
He was
All right, this is gonna hurt. Okay. Question: is everybody okay going to 10:30?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're
That
good.
I will find a place for us to stop at 10:30. Yes.
Well, this is. Could I is Estrella pretty close, seeing as she's in the fountain?
Yeah.
And I'm right next to
Yeah,
Zelda.
you're all fairly close to each other. It's not a large
I'm
chamber.
muted. She's in the fountain doing the puzzle.
I'm going to take out Crumbs.
Yep.
And I'm just going to kind of put him on her shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And while I do so, I want to cast Bardic Inspiration
Okay.
on Estrella.
All right.
And
How much inspiration is she getting?
it's just an instant cast. She, however, gains an inspiration die of 1d6 for 10 minutes on any check, attack, roll. I mean a check, ability check, attack, roll, or saving throw.
Okay, 10 minutes. Lasts and she gets one roll of this, a d6. Okay.
And then I am going to do to Zelda what I did to the wizard Knoll, and I am going to put my bow staff around her neck, and I want to hold her.
What were you doing that?
Wow.
Zelda.
Okay.
Don't make me try to knock you out again.
Whew, okay.
Or
Overwhelmed it,
I mean,
Chris?
No, you can do it. You can do it.
I just
Yeah.
I
No,
feel
cool.
something very
But
wrong.
why no?
Cool.
Surprise,
Very-
you could beat our asses up. We could beat yours with this mental. Figure this
Man,
out.
this is intense.
Can't we just
okay.
step on the stone?
Well, that deserves a change of music.
Dun, dun, dun.
Wow, that's all I can say is just wow.
Vibes. Okay.
Yeah, no. I need to find some. Okay, let's do this. I wasn't planning on using this now. Shit, let's use it now. Here we go. So here
I'm
is
going
what
to knock
happens.
you out for real one day.
Estrella, as you start rotating this, which one do you want to rotate first? Top, middle, or bottom?
Start at the bottom, work my way up.
Okay. As you rotate the bottom one, you feel that it takes a bit of effort to turn it. But when you do, you hear a clicking sound. And Grim, as you're investigating these holes, you can tell that this clicking sound comes from the holes, as if this is a giant combination lock. And you just hear click, 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 click as you're turning it. Nothing's happening yet other than this clicking sound. At this moment, Nim, you take your staff and just come around casually behind behind Zelda. You give or take match her in height. She may be just a little bit taller than you, but you kind of bring her down to your level. And are you holding her firmly, aggressively?
As of right now, just firmly.
And you do so, and you feel Zelda stiffen. And her hands come up to the staff and grip it on her side. And you hear her whisper, "What are you doing, Nimriani?"
Going to just lean down into her ear. Go. You're not the only. I'm not the only one with darkness in them.
Make a perception roll with advantage. Kieran, as you feel yourself connect with this stone, it rips at your soul, and you feel yourself, just as you touch Link, just jerk back, and you and his astral form are pulled into this ethereal space where you can see Hyrule in its glory, and you can see Prince Ram walking past with a young Link, starting the journey that you saw them finish outside. But you will your body to travel back further, and you can feel Link grip your arm, not out of fear, but out of solidarity, that the two of you are in this together. And you hear him whisper, "Go." I want you to give me a wisdom saving throw with disadvantage.
I look at him as I'm doing this and I say, "This is very dangerous." Shit.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
You're right, it is dangerous.
Did you just realize that?
This is which one? What is the bonus I'm getting to this?
Wisdom saving.
Wisdom saving throw.
Yep.
8. I rolled a 4 and a 5.
This is indeed very dangerous. As you start to move back through time, it's almost as if a time lapse happens in front of you, and you can see this room shift and change, the light above moving as suns and moons careen backwards through time. It's very much like Moon Knight when he was just shifting everything around, and it goes faster and faster and faster. But as it does, you feel yourself start to lose grip, not just on Link, but on yourself. And as you will yourself to stay together and hold on to Link's astral form, it starts to take from your health to do so. This first trip through time will cost you 10 points of damage, and you feel it rip from you. I want you to make a straight D20 roll.
$18.
You feel yourself start to align together as this pain grounds your focus, and you start to beeline towards this point that is small in the distance and grows, this brightness filling up your vision until finally you make it to what you perceive as the dawn of time for Hyrule, to the first incarnation of the Triforce and the first bearers of its mark. In this room, you see golden light pouring from each of the tiles, illuminating not a story, but a script made of magic and light. It is meaningless to you, but Link's eyes start to water. And he looks at you and he goes, "It is a song. It is the birth of my people being written into the very stone itself." And you see these three figures: a woman, a man, and this tall green man that has been appearing to all of you, Ganon. The woman looks similar to Zelda, as the man looks similar to Link, forebearers thousands of years in their past, each bearing the mark. And above them is Hylia, holding in her hand the Triforce itself, floating above where the fountain should be, but isn't in this time. And as you continue to watch, Hylia looks down at you, directly at you, and you hear her voice in your mind going, "Who are you? Wait. The hero of time. Why have you come?" Nim, what was your role?
24.
Wow.
Dang.
As you hold on to Zelda, she starts to laugh. And the lines that formed up her, these blue markings that you saw in the cave, reappear all across her face until she is covered in these lined tattoos. Grim, you notice what Nim has done, and you see this transformation in Zelda, and you hear her voice. And her voice is not her own, but the voice of Ganon. And she speaks, "Well done, little mouse. You impress me. Darkness can sense itself." What do you all want to do?
Roll for an exorcism.
I love how mine was punch him in the face and you were like, roll for exorcism.
I'm going to tighten into an aggressive hold on Zelda.
Oh, I
You
thought
will
you
get
were
into a strength battle with Ganon.
Cool,
Nim.
cool, cool.
Nim. Stop it.
So,
What did you do? What did you do?
Cool.
she's getting the strength battle again to see if she can keep him trapped. Estrella, Grim, what do the two of you want to do? Again, you have uncovered this clicking sound, but Grim, you are the only one aware right now of what has been transpired with Zelda and Nim.
Okay. I'm gonna be like, well, that's happening. Push more of the knobs.
So you want to like reach into the cracks and kind of do
I'm
something?
tired of trying to stop Nin from doing shit that she's not supposed to be doing. So I'm just trying to figure out this puzzle now.
Okay, so you're going to shove your hand into a crack. Excellent. Estrella, what are you going to do?
Worst ways to spend a Monday night. So since I have not turned around or seen this,
Yeah.
I'm going to oh gosh, I want to lock pick this giant lock from what
Okay.
it sounds like.
Sleight of hand. You would
Sleight
give me
of
a
hand.
sleight of hand roll to see if you could pick this in any way, shape, or form. Cool.
Damn.
Kieran, what do you want to do in your spirit walk?
Is that ability check?
I'll look at Link
Oh, okay.
and we are going to step into that space, almost like in a revealing ourselves mindset. And I'm going to draw my sword and stare directly at Ganon in the past and say, we are here for him.
All right, we are going to resolve all of these. We're going to start with Kieran. Kieran, you feel Link pat you to let go. Do you let go of him?
Yes.
As you do, you watch Link flicker for a second, but his strength of will holds him in this spirit realm with you. And you watch him draw his sword and shield. And as he does, on his sword hand, the mark of courage appears alongside yours, and the two of you glow. And he looks at you and he goes, I couldn't have said it better myself, friend. And he points his sword at Ganon. Ganon turns to the two of you, and everything else vanishes from this room, except him and the chamber itself. And you hear him say, you're not supposed to be here, but I welcome the challenge you bring. He pulls out from his back a long claymore, half the length of his own body, and holds it at the ready. If you wish to die, I will gladly oblige. Cut to Nim. What is your strength roll?
Oh crap! I didn't.
You can roll again. You can roll for it.
Disadvantage, right?
Yes, disadvantage. I'm very sorry, y'all didn't eat.
And
10. You feel Zelda / Ganon grip hard and pull away. And you are doing all you can. And you just hear him laugh. You wish to stay on? He releases his grip and you immediately tighten up. And he goes, so be it. And the room rumbles and shakes as you feel Zelda transform to Ganon, and you rise up attached onto his shoulders now as he is 1.5 feet taller than you. And then you feel him get taller as his body starts to elongate. His shoulders get wider, horns sprout from his head, and his face takes on an almost feral hog-like appearance. Hooves form at his feet, and his body covers in fur. You can stay on as long as you like. And you find yourself 10 feet up, now hanging on to this transformed Ganon, now known in his full form as Calamity Ganon, a Goristro in our D&D lore, a giant feral boar man.
Why is it always a boar?
Right.
Pigs are a thing. I'm kind of going with the pig thing.
Okay.
Estrella, Grim. What are your roles? I want Grim to give me a investigation check as you plunge your hands into the hole. And Estrella, I want to know your sleight of hand roll. Again, with disadvantage, y'all are tired.
It was disadvantaged, but she gave me that plus D6, so it was 19.
Well done. Grim.
Investigation.
Yes.
20.
Oh, not bad. Not
I got a
bad.
20. And then I was like, dang, I can't use it. And then I rolled because I knew I was going to roll lower. But with the +2.
Well done. All right, so here's what the two of you discover. Estrella, as you start to change others, you start to notice that the clicks sound different. And as you move the topmost ring, Grim, you can feel as you shove your hand into one of these cracks, almost a lever kind of just barely touch your fingers, and you pull on that lever. And as you do, a section of wall, like a pie cut, just lowers, and you see the floor just separate. And you notice that there is a pie gap where the wall behind the wall is revealed. And as such, another part of the puzzle. And you can see, Grim, just a piece of the Triforce being represented and a part of a phrase that you can easily read that says, know your truth. And it can continue on. And the two of you look at each other and instantly know that between the two of you, if you can align the rings and pull the levers, you can reveal the next phase of the puzzle. But at this moment, you can hear the roar of Ganon, and you turn to see this 10-foot tall creature bristling with muscle and hair and power. And as he brandishes his claws and horns and roars at the two of you, Nim just swinging against his back.
Don't worry.
You ain't got shit.
Ganon roars a battle cry in the past and runs for Kieran and Link, ready to kill their astral forms.
I'll just pass.
It is in this moment that all of you realize you are at one part of a grander puzzle. Kieran, not knowing that the fight he is in can affect his timeline now. And the two of you not fully understanding what unlocking the puzzle may do. But as you all prepare yourselves for the battle, you can hear Lunas in all of your minds whisper, "This is your moment. Don't stop now."
Wow. Holy shit.
You look a little tired.
Oh my gosh, that you all had me on such a roller coaster.